Hello and welcome. Today is all about this brand new Dungeons & Dragons set, comparing it with the Rivendell. Now this room has turned into an absolute disaster because these sets are huge. But what we're going to do in great detail is take a look at the box artwork, instruction manual, have a look at the sets themselves, see how they compare side by side. I've had a couple of people ask me what it looks like against that Rivendell set, and then of course we'll get tucked into all the minifigures as well. So with that being said, let's get to it. So we'll start off with the box artwork as normal. There's two big differences. Apart from the size and shape of the boxes, obviously, one of those big differences is under the Lego Icons range comes the Lord of the Rings set. So that is why it has the bright yellow strip going across the bottom. Now this Rivendell set is an 18 plus, item number 10316. It's 6,167 pieces. And you can see on the front of this box, it is absolutely beautiful with regards to the artwork, and the set itself is stunning. So we'll be taking a much better look at that in a short while. Now with the Dungeons & Dragons set, you can see how the set is completely different with regards to the box layout, but as we come down to the bottom, you can see it's actually a Lego Ideas set. So that has the red strip across the bottom, and this one is an 18 plus, item number 21348. It's 3,745 pieces. So with the boxes being two completely different shapes, it means you do open them slightly differently. So with the Dungeons & Dragons, at the very top of this box, you can see all the amazing bits and pieces that are included, but it is also where you break the seal to open up the box. Now there's nothing on the inside of that flap. However, on the inside of the Rivendell, on both sides, on each one of these, that is where you actually open it up from the side, and it does have some really nice artwork we should be taking a look at in a little bit. But on the top of the Lord of the Rings set, you can see that you've got all of the minifigures included within this set, but it is just a black top. So if they were on the shelf from like that to like that, you can see that maybe the Dungeons & Dragons is a little bit clearer to see. Moving on to the side of the box artwork. Now, yes, they both do look very, very good indeed. But if I was to open this up, you can see there is actually more artwork on the inside, and it is the same on both sides. This is something that the new Dungeons & Dragons set does not have, but you do have the QR code there that you can scan. I think that takes you directly to the instruction booklet. Now, as we come up through the top of these boxes, you can see that the Dungeons & Dragons set is slightly taller, but that Rivendell set is much, much wider. So as we come down the other side of the box artwork, they are both boring and plain until you get to the very, very bottom of the Dungeons & Dragons set, which actually gives you the sizes. So it is 41 centimetres or 16 inches in width, and it's 48 centimetres or 19 inches tall. So if you are looking at it on the shelf side on, that is what you're going to be looking for. But again, on the inside just here, it has that little bit of artwork. Now, to get the thing actually open, you did actually have to open up all the flaps just to be able to get it out. You can just see how big that box is. Moving on to the back of the box artwork, and both of them are very, very impressive and both quite similar as well. So Dungeons & Dragons shows you down here how it all splits apart, so obviously you can play it as a game, and it's very, very modular, whereas the Lord of the Rings set, surprisingly, is very, very similar with regards to how many pieces actually strip off. So you can see there's nearly 4 or 5 different sections that it has. But at the very, very top of this, it does give you the size. Now, this thing is massive. It is 72 centimetres or 28.5 inches in width. And it is 15 inches or 39 centimetres in height. Now with regards to the actual artwork with all of the different photos and things like that, each one of these do look very, very impressive, and obviously we're going to take a much greater look at the sets shortly. But as with regards to the box artwork on the back, if both of them on the shelf backwards, I think they're both eye-catching enough, and you're going to know what they are. So not only is the box artwork very eye-catching, also the instruction booklets as well are beautiful. Now they're both very, very similar. This is why I wanted to do these as a comparison. With regards to the instruction booklets, you build them in sections for both sets. So where it is darkened out on here, so this bit for example here, that is what that instruction booklet does. And then for the second one, you build the middle piece, and then for this one, obviously, you then build the outer edge. Now we will be taking a quick look at the inside of that one in a second. Now with regards to these, you have 4 of them, but they are much smaller, but each one of these again does a completely different section. So you can have 4 people building that up, and you can have 3 people working on this, or maybe even 4 and 5, because obviously you can download the instructions and the PDFs from the LEGO website. So looking at booklet number 1 of each set. Now the big difference again between the two, because this is a LEGO Ideas set, the instruction booklet was also a competition winner with regards to the artwork that you see on the front, whereas this is obviously just produced by the LEGO group themselves. But on the inside, you can see if we start to pan through, you then have all about the designing team, and then it says welcome to Rivendell on the left hand side. Now we go page for page. On the inside of this one, it's very similar, because you have then got bits and pieces about the downloadable content on here. You have the 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons, and it tells you about a tribute for players by players, and obviously we've got everything to do with the 50th. And then on the inside here, you've got the meet the model designer winner, and then you have got the building instruction winner as well. So each one of these was its own competition that ran on the LEGO Ideas website, and then obviously they picked the best winner. Now this is actually based on the Legoland dragon, which is called Ollie, and that is why this one is much darker, as you can see in a little while just how much brighter the set is. But Lucas did a fantastic job on this one, and Young Chung T, again, I massively apologise if I just butchered your name. It is a fantastic looking bit of artwork on here. Now moving on to the Rivendell, again, you then have some bits and pieces that you can see with regards to the other sets that are available at the time. So you've got classic scenes from the LEGO Lord of the Rings. You can see you've got the smaller one, which is the Gandalf Arrives, which is 9469. And then you've got the Council, and then you have the Mines of Moria, and then you have the Battle of Helm's Deep. So it'll be very interesting. They do a much larger one of those. You then have this thing just here, and then you have the pirate ship ambush as well. So there was a very good selection of sets out and about way back when. So this is like a little bit of a timeline. And then it gives you a little bit of information about the tower, and then the 2 minifigures that are included within the tower. With regards to timelines and information, I do believe, if we carry on coming through on here, we will, he says, have a timeline coming through at the bottom. Once we've met all the monsters on the left, you can see all of these that you build up. So you've got the skeleton, the owl bear, you've got the cube, and then you have got the beholder, the beast, the dragon, and all of the other little bits and pieces. But here we go. So they have got a timeline in here as well. So this tells you about all the different games when they first came out, the different editions. So it goes from 1974 on the left hand side all the way through to 2014, which is the 5th edition down here on the right. And then it carries on going, because you've got Meet Your Heroes, you've got all the different minifigures in here. So there's a lot of minifigures to get through within this upload, and then you can see about the gaming experience and how it just moves on, and then you begin. So a slight difference between booklet number 2 is booklet number 2 just gets going. We've seen all the characters and all the information in the first booklet, so you just carry on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th booklet, because obviously they are all completely different. Whereas with the Lord of the Rings set, it lets you know information about what it is you're building, gives you more information about the minifigures on there, then obviously you go into all the bags and everything that are included. Yes, this one has got a little bit squashed, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. And I do believe it'd be the same thing for the very last booklet as well, where it is all about the river, the forge and the armory, and then you get the last 2 minifigures included. But you can see the bag numbers that are included on this one to build all of these little bits and pieces up. What I will say about these, they were loads and loads of bags, but they're in bite-sized chunks, which made the building experience nice and easy, because you just had to do it at 10 minutes at a time if you wanted to. Moving on to the 3rd and final booklet, again you can see what it lets you know on the inside with regards to artwork, what you're building, minifigures included, how many bags are needed. Now the one thing about this is the bag sizes are tiny. There's only a few pages per bag, but you can see with regards to the bit at the bottom, you have the cube that tells you how far through the actual building process you are. So with regards to the actual build itself, I think you have more bricks per bag on this one, but you might have more bags overall in this. And before we put the booklets away for the rest of this video, again you can see the 50th anniversary tied up onto the back, and then you have got the Rivendell all clipped together on there. So we are about to tuck into all of the minifigures that were included on both of these sets. So we'll take a quick look at the set itself before we get tucked into the minifigures, and you can just see how beautiful this thing is when you've even got it split up. It doesn't have to be together for it to look fantastic, but we will look at each of these pieces individually, and then I will obviously clip them all back together. But there is a lot of space if you're into your minifigure photography with regards to where you can actually place these minifigures. So you can see you've got all this really nice detail with the water, and then as we come up and over, you do have this nice bridge, and you can see where you can plonk the minifigures on there, and then you can come down and you wrap it round, and you've got this nice little walkway coming all the way through where you can place the minifigures on, and then we have these nice trees. So if I spin this round before I move the camera, it is that big. I've just got to be careful I don't knock anything over. Yes, that tree is damaged. One of the cats decided to have a fight with it just before I started to do this. So you've got the forge, so you can see you've got the nice swords, you've got the fireplace, you've got the light, you've got the other bits and pieces where they live in there. That's where all the other little bits and pieces tend to go. And then as we come up, you have all this amazing detail with regards to the layering of all the leaves, and I do really like the colours that they've used in this, and obviously they do match the amazing rooftop that we will be taking a look at in a very, very short while. So you can see just with regards to how big a space this thing takes up, it is rather large, and it'll be very interesting when I built up the actual new Dungeons and Dragons set, because at the moment it's in pieces, because I'm going to show you it separately, just what that will be like. Now on the inside just here, there is a lot going on. You can hopefully be able to see right at the very, very back. You've got all sorts of different swords, you've got axes, you've got bows and arrows, you've got different lights and everything and anything in there with regards to what's in your forgery. So you can have some nice photos and minifigures going on in there. And then as we come up to the top, you can see you've got the nice tables and chairs, so you can do whatever it is that you want to do with all of that. Coming around to the back of the waterfall, you can, again, if you wanted to, you can place some minifigures in there. And as it comes round to the side, you can just see all the different layers and layering of this. Now this set is a joy to look at, and it was good fun to put together. But just as you can see, with it just being slightly separated apart, this table is a metre. So if you did want to be putting paths and everything around the outside of it, you do need a lot of room. Now, talking of needing a lot of room, we'll take a look at the chunkiest bit of the three, which is this middle section just here. So you saw that it all does come apart in the actual box, but if we pull this forward like so, we'll keep all of this together. There are some Easter eggs relating to what is going on with this one as well. So those Easter eggs are actually where this tree is. So if I very, very carefully, he says, take this tree out, and we have this as a completely separate piece, you then have that as your Easter egg. Now that is also an Easter egg that is included in the new Dungeons and Dragons set, hence why I really wanted to pair these up together. So with regards to the detail and the layering and everything all around the outside, you have got this amazing amount of detail wrapping it all the way through. And again, as we pan up and take a look at the roof, it is very, very pretty indeed. It was interesting to try and get all of these together, but when you got it into a rhythm, it didn't take that long. But the end result, I think, does look very, very spectacular indeed. But again, you've got all this detail and all this spacing for all your minifigures and your photos and things, and there's lots and lots of Easter eggs that go completely over my head with regards to the film. Bearing in mind, I've only seen this film once and I've never read the book. I am making this up as we go, and if you think that's bad, wait until we get to the Dungeons and Dragons. But if I keep you still and move you round, hopefully nothing will fall off, and then I think you can, through there, you'll be able to see all of the different candles. There's loads and loads of detail all on the inside just there. In fact, if I come up and do that, you should be able to see at least 4 or 5 different candles all wrapped around the books. So the second you take the tree out from this space just here, it does open it up ever so slightly differently. Now, with regards to the stickers and things like that, some of them are quite large. And yes, you can see that this needs to be re-pushed back down, so I've had to pick it up. So ignore all of that. It is all fine and it will all clip back together. But you do have some really, really nice looking stickers on there. As long as you can get them straight enough, I think they come through the camera clean enough. But again, as you come through on this bit, you've got plenty of detail on the inside just there, and then as it comes through, you then got the next piece there with all the candles, and as it comes round, you'll then see all of the detail on the back. So that looks fantastic, I think. With regards to the floor, you've got all the different candles that we saw at the very, very start of this little bit. All the different bits and pieces, it's just amazing to see it all again, because obviously you put it on display, you don't really tend to move it too much unless you're stupid enough like me with the Disaster series that gets moved all the time. But there's a lot going on with this, and not only that, that I do believe, there it is a cobweb. That's interesting. So that's that definitely needs a good clean. But you can see just on the inside there, you've got the really nice map, you've got the little bit that they sit down on, and as it comes up to the next tier, you have got all these other little bits and pieces that are going on as well. And then you can see all of the other bits and pieces. Yes, this thing is filthy because I have been in the process of repainting, sanding down, and doing all sorts of different bits and pieces in this room. And this thing has yet to have a bit of TLC. But another sticker. And then as we pan around to the other side, another sticker. And then as we come down, well, you can just see how pretty that thing looks. And then as we come up, you then have the next bit at the top. So we're taking a look at this separately to the unit. So you can see you have got all the chairs in a circle. Now, the minifigures will rest on there, but they haven't got the studs on there for them to sit on. So you do have to be a little bit careful. Otherwise, they will end up falling off and going absolutely flying. There is so much detail with this, and again, you've got all this really, really nice layering with regards to the tree as well. And as it comes round, you can get some really nice photos of this, wrapping it all from the back. So if you did just want to try and get some photos of this and add it into another slightly different display, I think that would work quite nice. And that has all been put back together, and you can just see with it all back together just like that, how nice that looks. Now again, you can display it all together, or you can display it individually like we're taking a look at right now. Now there is another piece, which is in the first instruction booklet, which is this thing sliding across just here. Now, depending on how you look at it, it gives you a completely different perspective of all the detail. If you have a look at it from side on, again, you can get a nice display as you walk up the steps, and you can get some minifigures and things in there. And then as you come up a little bit higher, you've then got all the nice detailing of the roof, you've got the candles and all that kind of thing. But as we come around and actually start to take a look at it from the front, it gives you a completely different perspective of what this unit actually looks like. It is obviously one really nice big tower. It's probably the most grey at the very, very front, but it makes all the other colours completely pop. And then you've got all of these other minifigures wrapping around, and then you've got all the detail underneath. You have got like a little secret escape bit just underneath there, and then as we come through onto the other side, we can then get a bit of a better look at all the detailing because it is an open wall. So plonk your minifigures in there if you want to. Again, you could do some all sorts of different bits and pieces. As we come up, you then got some more details. You've got some stickers and things on the bed, but it does look very, very effective. And again, when you start to add all these minifigures in, I think it does look absolutely fantastic. So because this thing is so big, it's very, very difficult to get it all on camera at the same time. But if I show you how you can just clip it all together, so that is now attached. So those two pieces are in and done. That is as easy as that. Now on this one, it has a pin. So as we slide you down, we have a pin where it literally lines up like so. Push it in, jobs are good, and that is it. And then that is what that looks like. So as a whole, I think that unit looks beautiful. Right, I'm now going to try and be clever and bring in the new Dungeons and Dragons set and build it as we show it off piece by piece, and then hopefully the Rivendell as a backdrop will show you the size and scale. Now the spare heads, they are bizarre. Now it's great that you get them because it means you can make all the characters completely different if you want them to. But they are a little bit tricky, there's the face, they are a little bit tricky to actually store. It would have been quite nice if you just had a storage bin for parts. Even if you just had a thing that was like the giveaway purchase, but it was just slightly bigger, you could just clip all the heads together, because obviously this head here is for this character just here. So this one I think only has one face. So they haven't given them dual faces, they've given them dual heads, but some of them, like this one for example, as you spin round, it does have dual faces, and I think this head here is meant for this character here, and then it just chops and changes and does all the different bits and pieces. But you can see this one, and as it spins round, you then got the green in the eyes on that one as well. So each minifigure can be used in multiple stories, multiple different ways. So it's a fantastic idea, the fact that you can just give them different bits and pieces, different faces and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm terrified that I'm going to lose this, because there is physically nowhere to store the spare heads within this set. You do, obviously, if you were lucky enough, get this thing as a giveaway purchase, and I am going to be using this as my head storage, and then just make sure that it's all clipped together and in. Obviously it's meant for dice, but it would have been quite nice, I think, if you just had a small build just to add in the spare weapons, because each character gets different weapons and it gets different heads and things like that as well. Now, with that being said, ignore the spare heads that I've clipped all around this set, and we will attack this and go. Now, this is a modular unit. This is the first unit that you build. This is the first instruction booklet, and no, I have not clipped it together. And if you are an eagle-eyed viewer, I have already damaged it. I have knocked off 2 of these pieces, which are supposed to go just up here, like so, but I can't be bothered to strip it back down and repair it, so just take it with a pinch of salt. Now, talking of stripping it down, it does come apart. So this bit is modular, and then the roof itself also comes off as well. But on the inside just here, we'll take a look at the top tier first. So there we go, that roof panel is off, nice and simple, just comes off like so, and then it gives us plenty of lighting. Now on the inside of theirs, I removed Pumpkin's hair, there's a lot going on. We've got the nice big bed, you then have got one of the characters, I do believe, I think this is the Mimic. So this is something that we will be taking a look at when we take a look at all of the other minifigures. This is the kind of thing that we would have needed larger to put the heads in, because you just put all these random bits and pieces in there. Works, it does the trick. You've got the little prints at the top, and it looks nice enough, and that just literally lives in that space just like so. Now you can see as you come through, hopefully you have got the nice little bit of orange that is there between the 2 grey. You've got the nice bed, nice little bit of space for the minifigures if you want to put some in. It's a little bit tight in places compared to obviously the Rivendell set, but it is supposed to be a game, but you can see where you can actually put the minifigures in certain places rather than others. But that is the top bit. Now there's quite a lot of detail on the external part of this building, and again that is just your top with the chimney, and then that is the next bit there that goes on with the roof, and then it starts to add all the detail in quite quick. Now the bottom layer, there's a lot going on with this as well. So we move these minifigures out of the way for now. There it is, in plain sight. So there is definitely going to be another Lord of the Rings set coming. They've given us the Easter egg of the mammoth that's behind this, and now we are taking a good look at this. Now, like I said, I have not yet put these together. Each thing is in pieces still, but you have got all of these pins. So I'm basically going to figure this out with you and make an absolute meal of it. Now, this is an open back. Can you spot the spare head? There's another head there. Again, that is a dual face for that one. Let me clip that before I lose it with the others. So we'll make a head pile at the front. Let's go and get Al Snow. He would love it. Now, round he goes, and then we'll take a look at the detail that's in the back. A lot going on with regards to what is included within this. You've got the nice bright colours, the teals and the greys and things, but if I raise you up just ever so slightly, you should now be able to see in there a little bit better. So you have got the nice bits and pieces with regards to the axe. You can see you've got the 2 different types of drink with the froth that's on top, and then you have got the turkey leg. This is also the bar top, and then on the inside just there, you should be able to see, it's quite hard when it's brown on brown, you should be able to see some other little bits and pieces that are in there. And again, as we spin round, there'll be the fire that is just a little bit through on the inside just there. And on the other side of the wall, you can see you've got more weapons. So you've got the axe, then you've got some spears, you've got a sword, you've got some other little bits and pieces, and then obviously that is where the door opens up. So lots of detail and lots of little layers and things that you do on this one. It's not the biggest of space, but it is pictured with all of the minifigures on the website included. Now you have got different bits and pieces for boxes. Some of them don't have anything in at all. Some of them do. Now, this would be a very interesting game if somebody hadn't built it to find where all these bits and pieces are. Because there are stuff hidden inside the walls in certain buildings. So you would literally have to strip it down to be able to find the different bits and pieces like that. But again, nice detail with regards to the chimney. You've got all the nice detail on the side, and then that is the bit on the back. And this is what it looks like, just gently placed back on top of each other. I don't want to clip it down, so I will add some bits and pieces on there again, but you just clip that down and that is the height of that. So as I pan out, that is the first bit complete. What we'll do, we'll move this piece out of the way. Yes, I have just found 2 more heads. I'm terrified that these things are going to roll away, but this can just slide and glide over, and then the next piece can arrive. Now, this is the biggest bit you make up. So I put you back down flush to the table. This does have quite a bit of detail going on. So you can see how it's layered. You've got the dark blue, then you've got the sand, then you've got the green, then you've got all of the different bits and pieces on there. If you're terrified of spiders, this set is not going to be for you because they are everywhere. Yes, you have got this cool character just here. They're dotted all over the place as well. You've got these evil mushroom looking things. They're dotted in there as well. I will find out the names of these as we go through using the instruction booklet. But again, you've got the detail up at the top. You've then got all the little bits and pieces it wraps around. But straight away, if you were going to put this close to the Rivendell, and you can just get some photos like this and use the leaves from the Rivendell, I think these will look very, very nicely side by side on display, and that's what I am hoping for. Now, yes, we will be taking a look at this thing in much greater detail. There's loads of spare pieces with this. If I remember, I'll add that to the end. You even get a spare eyeball with this as well. Now, you can see on the tree, you've got a little bit of detail just on there, so you can see just this little happy chappy on that bit. And then as I pan up and come over, you can see all the different layering and everything that's included on there. Now, also, you've got the trees, which are pretty cool. But with regards to this thing and the bit, it does carry on. Now, there are some very unusual colours used. So I have kind of mixed and matched some of these up. The lily pads aren't in the correct place for all of them, so I just wanted to add a little bit more colour in there. So if you see an odd dark green one or anything like that, it's because I've changed it ever so slightly, just because I wanted it to be different. But again, just from there, I think this is going to work very, very nicely. But you have got these really, really bright elements just here, and then as it comes round, there's some more bits and pieces with an open back. Now, what do we have going on? We have got the cube. From the cube, we then have some shields. If I get this thing out the way, you'll be able to see all the other little bits and pieces that are in there. So you've got a small cube, bow and arrow. You've got this big pokey stick just here. So this is all to do with the different characters. Depending on who you're playing with, you will need to grab some of these weapons. Now, there is a bit bizarre in the instruction booklet, because you might open up bag number 5, get to bag 11, and then it will say, remember in bag number 5 there was a spare one of these. Then you've got to go all the way back and get it to then add it into a different thing. Now, we will take a better look at this thing later on, because there's a lot of detail going on with that as well. So we'll stick with this bottom layer. You can see the skeleton, the sword. You've got all sorts of different bits and pieces further on in the back where my finger's in the way, so just down there. And then again, you have got these skeletons with the sword and the flames. Now, you do get a good amount of skeletons with different bits and pieces. You can see you've got the gem down at the bottom with these 3 black things, and then you've got some bones and different bits and pieces like that as well. As we come up, it does look like you've got like a little bit of a dungeon slash prison thing going on just in there, because you see the chain that is dangling away, and then you do have the little bucket. Then obviously you can shut the door. And I'm missing a piece. What an idiot. So I did wonder why I had to spare one of them. I know where that is, so I will plonk that in before the video finishes. That, I think, is a really, really nice print for the shield. I think that does look very, very nice indeed. But if I got this out the way, you can then see, there it is, just there, all the other little bits and pieces that are included within. Now, from the back, lots and lots of nice layers, lots of nice bright colour. You've got the pinks, you've got the purples, and then obviously you've got the white. But yes, they do have prints on. So in fact, we'll give you a look at this now before I will forget. So it's a bizarre looking thing. That is what that looks like. So that is the print of that little thing from the front. That is the print of that little thing from the back. and then he has an absolute massive mushroom hat. Never said that before. And then it plonks up and they just live in there. So what I do like is the detailing on the sides as well, because you've added all these little bits and pieces, and they do go all the way up the building. And if I keep panning through, you will see that there's little hidden bits of detail all across the top. So you can see the jar at the bottom, and there's another jar up at the top. Hopefully it is coming through on the camera, but there is another one just there. Coming around from the side, again, that is your pokey stick of doom with regards to what can be used for another character. And then you've got another crystal, and then obviously you've got this little cube. Then you've got all this different layering, and then you've got the Technic pins, which is where it all connects together. No idea how it connects together, but we will be having a good look at that in a second. Now, if I pan up from a different angle, you now might spot some different layering. Now, I was very impressed with how this actually got put together, because this front wall just here was one small bag. It's got like a flat back, and then you just push it on. So you don't just build it up vertically, you actually build out from the back as well, which is a new sort of building experience for me. But like I said, the size of the bags were perfect if you just wanted to get your teeth sunk into it little bit by little bit in the evenings, and then you could just add and add as you go. Now, with regards to all of the bases, I think about 80% of the spare base bag was used on the piece that we are looking at now. You had the one bigger base for this bit, and I think there's one other bigger base for the other, and then you didn't have to worry about rummaging through the rest of the bags. Now, I am going to attempt to figure out where this is actually supposed to go, because I'm assuming we line it up like so. It can't be that difficult. And then it just clips in like all of the other sets, he says. So what am I caught on? Am I caught on something? No, there we go. So that is how that works. So that now all at the front is together for the first time, and instantly now you're starting to get an idea of scale of just how big this set. It was surprising how big it was in the store, so you can just see now how much space I think this is starting to take up, and it is taller than the Rivendell set as well. Now, with that being said, I'm now starting to run out of space already, but I will grab the next section. I've just stood up to grab the next piece, and again, from an aerial shot, that is how impressive that thing looks. Now again, it's not the most professional of views, I know, but these things are massive. Now, moving on to the next section, which is this bit just to the right hand side. Now this bit here actually goes down in here, so that's going to be a little bit interesting when it's time to spin and move these sets around. So what I've got to do very carefully is move this one over to the side without knocking all of the minifigures off the table, bring the new one in, and then we can carry on and just get going. Now, there again, lots of layering with regards to this one, with regards to all the different brickwork, so you can see how nice that looks. This is the one with a really nice staircase. Now, there's obviously a little bit of an Easter egg here with regards to the actual dragon, which is outstanding, by the way. That build is phenomenal. It is the whole booklet for that dragon. So if you want to make it a chunky dragon just like the film, then obviously you can do. This does have a lot of very, very pretty pink and sort of translucent pieces as we go around. So you've got some really nice colourful elements in here, and you've also got some really nice vibrant blues. So they are just up there, look, and then you've also got the really nice green flames as well. And then if we come up the stairs, you can see you've got the red potion. So there is a lot going on here. This, I would imagine, would be a very, very fun level for anybody doing bits and pieces with regards to the D&D. And then you can see on the inside, you've got all these different layering. You've got plenty of hoppers where you can put all the minifigures and things on. And then you've got all these different coins and things like that. So there is a lot going on with this, and then you can see as we come up slowly, you've got all these really nice looking flames. So it is very, very impressive with regards to just what this bit looks like. And then you can see you've got a little bit of a booby trap. So here is where an axe comes down, and it will hit the door as it goes through. This staircase was a pretty cool thing to put together as well, so that just sort of wraps up, and then if I spin that round, you can see just how that spins. So again, this might be one of those sets that if you were to display it on a turntable base, that could potentially look very, very impressive indeed. Now with regards to the back, you've got 3 sides basically, and then the other side is where the Technic pieces go in. Move you ever so slightly, and I'm just spinning this set round. So obviously it does come apart easy enough, but as you can see, it also spins simply enough. So there's 2 pinholes at the bottom. You've got the black one and the blue one, and then you've got 2 pinholes on the back just here. So that will then, he says, comfortably slot in, not even looking, should slot in like so. I'll spin round so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yes, there we go. So that is nice and flush just there. Ignore that gap, but yep, that is nice and flush, and that's how it all clips together. But I think so far so good. I needed both hands for that to actually push in the second Technic pin, but now just with a couple of fingers, both of those are attached. So you've got almost like the guide pin on the blue side, and then the darker pin, the black one, was where it really pops in. Now it does line up nicely with the roof, and yes, I have now pushed that down so it is a little bit more sturdy, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Now I'm going to need 2 hands again to connect it into the next bit, because obviously this bit then goes back into the side, but we now got to go up. And what I mean by that, now I've finally got all of this clipped together, it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you can see how I am now going to be struggling for space. But that bit right at the back, where we have just connected all of that up lovely, that is where the next piece goes onto. That is where we get the height from. But you can see now as we come round, you've got all this beautiful layering, but I need to grab the next piece, and then we can add it to the set. Here it comes. So this thing is rather on the large side. So this piece just by itself is higher than anything else within the set. So as I pan back, that is where you're going to be getting your height from, and it is rather large. Now this does have lots and lots of detail on it. There will be already pieces that have pinged off, because I've literally had to carry this up the loft ladders, move all the tables around, and 1 or 2 bits will be loose on the table, and I won't notice until I watch this back, but it is fully complete, so just take it with a pinch of salt. Now you have got a spider on the inside. As I told you, if you don't like spiders, then this might not be the set for you. But these keys, there is a few of these dotted around, and there's another one hidden within the wall as you build the set. You sort of clip it all together. It's in a circular piece dotted around in the bottom of this bit, I think, and it is done very, very cleverly. But you can see on the inside you have all these different dragon heads. You've got 4 different dragon heads with the 2 flames, and then you've got the green ball that is dotted on the inside. Now if I just go up for detail, you have got these little bits and pieces just here. So you've got all the bits and pieces over the window. Yes, that is a piece that is off. No, it doesn't look right, but that is how it looks like in the instruction booklet. In case you don't believe me, see, it is like that. It doesn't look right on camera, so I will add another one on, because there's 2 of those. You have one off on either side, and I don't know why, but it is where it is. I don't know if it just adds a little bit of texture or layering. To me, it just looks like a piece is falling off, but I'm not a D&D player as such, so I don't know if that is relevant to the actual game or not. Now you have got this really cool slit on the inside of that ladder, which is a really nice cool looking feature, and then as you come up a little bit higher, you then have obviously the flags up top, and then you can see coming back down you've got the beautiful green flames of these candles. I think they look really, really smart. You can pick and choose on how you want to put them and place them, sort of just make it up as you go along. Obviously you can gut the inside of these and add some more different layering and texture if you want to, or you just keep it exactly the same as what it is. But don't forget, you have got the actual game to be played that is still downloadable on the LEGO website. I think that's going to be available as a free download for the next year, so obviously you can get your teeth sunk into that and then just basically play the game and build your own Lego set. You don't have to buy this Lego set to enjoy the D&D thing, so obviously it's all creativity. So with regards to the steps on the outside here, you can see how that comes up and then it just starts to wrap around. So this is where it's now going to get interesting, because I have yet to connect this bit to the next bit. But if I just pick you up, I'm going to have to stand up for this. Actually, before I do, a nice touch on this is just above the door. So if you can see just through the door, hopefully, there is a yellow and pink brickwork. Now I'm looking at it through a small viewfinder, so hopefully that is coming through on the camera okay, but that does look really nice. And then a little bit higher up from that, then also got this nice green crystal as well. But let's plonk you back down and then just see what this looks like with regards to the height. And I think it is supposed to go on forward facing, and yes, there is a trap door on this. That's what that noise was. So how easy does this go on? Let's pick you up. I've got you with the wrong camera on this. I should have used the GoPro for this one, but never mind. So that is you resting on loosely. I've just got to use two hands and push you down on there and then wiggle you through, because it does look like you go underneath the roof. So I don't know if you go side on. Yeah, you must go side on. So that's how it goes. Look, you go side on. That trap door's in the way now, look. So I do, oh no, that should work. So if I need two hands, I have to turn you off. But no, trap door's just closed. Bit of a wiggle, bit of a wiggle, bit more of a wiggle, bit of a wiggle, more of a wiggle. There we go. Push. Ta-da! Look at that for height. This thing, it really is very, very tall indeed. So it is taller than your Rivendell set. If I put them literally back to back as it is like so and just start to raise you up, it is an impressive looking thing when it is built. Now obviously the Rivendell is much, much longer, but if you want something with regards to sort of the wow factor of just adding a little bit of height in your display, this last piece really, really does the trick. You can see what I've done. I've just taken the sort of walkway away, so we have the main structure of the building just here. Obviously I'm not going to display it like this, but it's just so I can actually get it on the same table side by side, because as you can see as I pan through, I've really got to go that much, much higher for the actual main central part of that tower. And then as we come through, this is the bit that is extra. So this huge piece here is what I've had to take off from the Rivendell. But overall, I think both of these work very, very well. So if they do release any other future D&D sets or any other Lord of the Rings sets, it would be very, very interesting to see if they merge in just as smoothly. So this is where it's going to get very, very tricky. We'll start off with the giveaway purchase. This is what this thing looks like. Super, super quick look at this. It's got the open mouth, it's got the tongue that closes, you've got the really nice detail on the teeth, and then the eyeballs are all print. So this was your giveaway if you managed to get it within. Now I will have to, for time's sake, do a side-by-side comparison of minifigures, but with regards to these cool little beasts, we will do these separately, because I will be showing off the dragon in a second, which looks amazing. But you can see you've got the really, really nice print on the face. So a cute looking thing. It's got a little bit of a swivel on its head, so you can do the different bits and pieces that you want to with that. So you can turn it around both ways if you want to, so you can get some nice photos with it. And then you've got the nice layering and everything on the side. You've got the nice little tail on the back. You've got the bits and pieces down on the back of the legs where it overlaps and overlays, and you've got all the different teeth and the claws and all those little bits and pieces for the paws. Does open up to the side, because obviously don't forget it is supposed to be an owl, so then you can pose it nicely if you want to. So if you were very, very clever again with photography, you can do all sorts of different bits and pieces. But overall, this does look very, very effective indeed. Now the next thing that I know you guys and girls will like is this random cube. So this sucks in anything and everything it wants to. You can see on the inside you have got the skeleton, you've then got almost like the frying pan looking thing, and then you've got this yellow gem just on the outside. It is a cool looking piece. You've got all the clear bits and pieces up at the top, and then obviously you've got the lighter blue as the base at the bottom. And then don't forget, all of these sections will just go into the game wherever you would like them to go. Now we have got a couple more of them to show off, starting with Tappy Chappy just here. Now all these different bits and pieces, they are all prints. None of those are stickers whatsoever, and the eye does look again very, very familiar. So I think that is another Easter egg to what is to come. The mouth, I think, yep, opens up and closes on this. It's just on the stands. You can, if you want to, take that stand away, plonk him down like so, and you can get a slightly better look with regards to all the different bits and pieces. And obviously these bits will move on the back, so you can turn them round and do whatever it is that you want to do to get him on display. But I think overall it does look very, very smart, and obviously if I was to do that, it would stand up perfectly fine. But I do like the fact it is on a stand as well, and that just goes up its backside like so. and then it just stays there. Now, moving on to the next thing. No idea what this is either. I could look at the instruction booklet, but I want you guys and girls to let me know in that comment section. Now, you've got this cool thing. You've got all the different bits and pieces over the thigh, then you've got the 6 legs that it does stand on, then you've got the really, really nice eye print. Now, as it comes over, you do have this detail up at the top, just here, as it's one of its legs is just fallen off. But if I bring them forward, you can see you've got the different bits of pieces on its teeth. Now, these are simple enough to put back together, he says. So if I was just to do this, we are then good to go again. So there we are. So again, if you want to, you can get some nice photography with regards to this. Head swivels up and down, doesn't go round to the side, but you can just have it stood just like so. And again, if I was to pan this up, you can, when it is actually on the set itself, so when it is going across the top, you will be able to pose it and do different bits and pieces with. Now, moving on to what is impressive, which is obviously these two things just here. Both of those, they do look very, very good. And you can see if I grab just a random minifigure like so, what that is like for scale. Now, I really hope that this is going to come through on the camera, because this thing is absolutely enormous. And I mean enormous. If I now have to move that, I'm having to move everything. The wingspan, in fact the tail is so big, I don't even know, will it go on the table? Yes. So you have got each individual claw down at the bottom. The flame is the same size flame of what is included in the Batmobile, and that looks small for this dragon. As we come round, the detailing on this thing's face is incredible. The neck and everything moves. You've got all the belly, you've got all this really, really nice rich colour. You can see you've got all the big connection pieces for all 4 legs that it stands on, and yes, that tail does go all the way down. However, the wingspan on this thing is ridiculous. If I just keep going up and up and up and up, that will give you an understanding of just how big this thing is. And if I would again just use that minifigure down here, well, it's well, massive. The head itself does swivel about, and then you can open up and close the mouth, so it has got good range of motion with regards into the head. Obviously I do need 2 hands for it, but I don't want to snap it apart. But the neck and everything moves. With regards to the wings themselves do move about, but you do need 2 hands to do it. So I'm not too sure how much you're going to see, but if I just plonk you back there and tip it over, it's very, very stiff on the Technic, but you can click it and it will hold, click it and it holds, and then click it and it holds, and that is how high if you want to. So you can get some really, really nice angles with regards to this, and then you can start to pose it quite nicely with regards to one of the wings up, one of the wings going downwards, so you can have this swooping in and flying and doing whatever it is that you want to do. But the detail on this thing is massive. Now, what you've got to be careful of are these wings just here. Now, obviously they are beautiful and bright and orange, but it does come in this huge envelope just here. This envelope here does have all the other little bits and pieces you need for the minifigures as you go through. This is like the cape protector that they have. They've just put it in this massive thing here. Now, one more look at the dragon before I move it, because I'm terrified I'm going to knock it off the table. That, again, side on what it looks like. You've got all of the different detailing underneath the wing. They're all made up of the Technic pieces. And then as we come down, you can just see how long this tail is. And all of these pieces do move individually if you want to. And then obviously you've got all the really, really nice detail of the spikes. So this is one whole instruction booklet. And I think when this gets added to the set, it's going to look great. Now, time to move on to the minifigures. Now, we've got so many of them to have a look at. I am going to go through them quite quickly. If any of the accessories aren't in their hands, it's because you've already seen them on the set. Now, with regards to the dual faces, a lot of them do have two. So you can see with this one, it's got the evil face with the bright yellow teeth that are included within this. It's a very odd colour that he's wearing, but obviously he was wearing that within the film. Spin it round, you can see you've got all the nice detail and texture on the back of the shirt. You've got the creases, the shorts, and obviously you've got the bare feet, and then you've got the arms, and obviously you've got the hair piece as well. So that is the first one that is included within the Lord of the Rings set. Next one we'll take a look at is this is the closest. So we'll just go one for one where I can. Make it up who you think this is supposed to be, but this thing does look very, very good indeed. You've got these little pieces that you add into the back of the head. You've got the really nice, bright, vibrant sleeve colour, so you can see how nice that looks just on there. And then you've got all this really nice printing on the front of the legs. So you've got the black across the boot tips, and then you've got the thigh, and then you've got the lighter brown going across the upper thigh below the knee, and then you've got all those little bits and pieces that are just included on there. So I think that overall does look very, very effective indeed. So that'll be a better look of it if I do that. And then you've got all of the nice stitching going across the buttons and everything on the jacket. So you've got the belt that goes across, then you've got the 3 stitches going up across the sort of like the lime green shirt. Then of course you've got the open waistcoat, and then if we spin that to the side, you've got the really nice looking bit for the dragon. So we are 1 for 1. If I keep them in the distance, so you might still be able to see them, and hopefully the camera won't get too confused. What I'm going to get a bit stuck with is the alternating faces, but we'll figure that out as we go. Right, next character to my right hand side. So you've got the really nice detail just on here. You've got all the nice bits and pieces with regards to all the leg print. You've got the nice bit on the groin where you can see it changes colour, and then above that you then got the really nice looking belt buckle. Above that you've then got almost like the zip and the buttons, and then you've got the mesh that is underneath. So it's almost like he's got these under armour on there. Now again, with regards to the hairpiece, nice looking thing with regards to the stubble. You've got the beard and everything on the side, and then you've got the more upside down frown. You've got like the people's elbow, or people's eyebrow should I say, going on up at the top, and then you have got the bit on the one side of the cheek, and then you've got the bit on the other as well, and you've got all the nice detailing on this one. So again, this is a nice looking minifigure. Now a lot of them, like this one for example, does come with all the accessories. So you can see what this is included with. This has got both rings because it does come with spare rings. I just put both in his hand because I didn't want to lose them, because obviously putting spare pieces with large sets, it's a lot of them to hold on to. Now again, with this one it has got the dual face, so you have got the more smiley face if you want to, so you don't have to have the evil looking face. But on this you've got the nice open waistcoat, the red with the open shirt, and then on the back you have then got the red bit with the belt buckle and everything going across. But because he's held the ring for so long, he can be looking like that. Now moving on to this character just here. Now this thing does look fantastic. You have got lots and lots of really nice detailed print on here. You've got all the bits and pieces with regards to the leg, and then you've got the, it's almost like a copper, it's like a coppery red coming through on the camera at the bottom. It's a unusual colour going across the top of his knees and across the top of his belt as well. But if you have spotted it, we have seen that sticker on the set already. Now in the instruction booklet, and obviously if you play the game, each of these characters do have different HP power points, so certain characters will be stronger than others depending on what type of game that you play. Now if I take this off, that's a really nice print on his face. Spin that round, then you have got the sort of happy smiley face. It does look like there's a little bit of sweat coming off the top of his brow, and then you've got the really nice silver with the red arms coming across. Now again, onto the back, lots and lots of detail going on there. What he's hiding on the back pouch, I don't know, but again, you can make that up as we go along. Now the interesting thing, I did say that this headpiece at the back goes with this one, but this one doesn't, I don't think, because this one has a beard and the other one does not. So I think where we had the green candles, it is a different bit where you can get to and you can add in a special effect, which are these accessories just here and this cape. Now I have just checked the instruction booklet. Both of these do get added to this minifigure just here. So what that spare headpiece is for is completely up to you. Looking at it from a horrible angle, but you can see you add a cape which is in that envelope, so some of the characters do have different capes when you want to add them, but again there's no place to put them, so don't lose them. And then you have all the different sticks to do different bits and pieces with, so you can get extremely creative with these sets of minifigures. Right, moving on to the next one. So we are 2 for Dungeons and Dragons, 3 for the Lord of the Rings, so we will it leveled up. Now this thing here, he is a cool looking character. Now, with regards to some of the characters, you can make them male or female. So this is the easier one, because with this headpiece just here, this actually comes with a spare hair, and then you just basically swap out him and his beard, plonk her on like so, take one of those off, and then you've got different bits and pieces. So that is now what she looks like. So you've got basically version 1 and version 2 of a lot of the sort of playable characters. So when they're at the start of the instruction booklet, you can see that they do change out. But again, because we've got some of these down at the bottom behind these 3, there are also other possibilities that you can do. But that is what that one looks like with her hairpiece, and you can see you've got all the really nice detail with regards to the plaits and everything up at the top. And then this one without the beard, he has got a purple eye, so he's been punched in the face, and then he almost looks like he's got a tooth missing on this one. He is now refusing to stand. So that is what that one looks like. And then as we spin round to the back, he is then looking quite grumpy if he wants to be. And then again, if we were to spin this one round and not actually add the beard whatsoever, he does look quite cool without the beard, to be honest. That is what that looks like. Or again, add him with the beard. So you've got multiple options. You can mix and match the things that they hold. Some of them have different things for different bits and pieces, and what they're holding, it might not be correct to what you've seen on the Lego website, but you've got so much bits and pieces within the set itself. It does give you a lot of opportunity to do different bits and pieces. But we are now, what are we now, 3, 4, 3, and we've already gone over all the monsters for the D&D. So let's do a couple more of these back to back. So back to the Lord of the Rings. This one, great detail on here. So you can see you've got the really nice grey legs with then, if I take all of this off, you've got almost like a scatty type top and jumper with the open buttons on there. And then across the back, again, you've got all of that to it. So it's a very, very plain torso, but all the detail is obviously within this beard piece. So you've got great looking beard bit just on the front, so you've got all the plaits, and then those plaits also do carry on the back. But if we have a quick look at the actual face print, you've got this, so you've got sort of a very, very older looking face print on this one. It does look very, very smart though. And then again, as it spins round, you've just got the one print on there. So if we get this one spun back around, get this one down and back on, plonk him on, hair goes on, and then before you know it, that is the figure done. Long hair on the back, and then we are 4 figures down already for the Rivendell. So like I said, lots and lots of characters included with the Lord of the Rings set, and then you've got lots of variations that you can do with the Dungeons and Dragons. So we could be here till Christmas doing all of this. So I'll speed up the pace if I can. Open toes, brown. You've got the nice detail on sort of like the shirt with the alternate brown coming through. That obviously will be going over onto his shoulders. Always wants food. These characters annoy me. You do get an egg that goes with that. You've got the ginger hair up at the top, dual face print, so you've got the smug, and then you've got the I'm hungry, but he's always hungry, so we can keep him like that because he's never full. And then you've got the nice detailing on the back with the belt, again with the buttons. With regards to that, there are a couple more, if I can grab them. Where are they? There's his mate wanting a carrot, of course, stuffing his face. And again, this one actually has a nice rich colour on the front. Plonk his hair off. You've got the really nice, bright, vibrant yellow with the deep green, actually, and the nice sort of buttons. Again, open feet. And then you've got the little bit of a yellow across the back and the dual face on there. So you've got that one. And then you've got the happy face on there. So we'll keep one of them happy. So you've got those two. There is another one somewhere, but he's obviously fallen off the table. So we will just pretend he is in that set. But there are those 3 for now. So one of those 4 are missing. So if you are a fan of the Rivendell and you have been watching this all the way through, who am I missing? Because there's only one minifigure that has slipped off, because I heard it go, and it's one of their mates, and I don't know who he's called, so let me know. But as you can see, as a group, they do look very, very cool. And of course, because they've got the teeny tiny legs, you then have the taller minifigures beside them, so they do scale nicely. And then if you start adding in some weird and wonderful creatures like so, and then you start adding in some owls and bits and pieces like that, you can see how all of those together will work quite nicely. We'll get all of these out the way, so we'll get the one-eyed monster, that out the way, get those carefully out the way. I was about to throw them out, but we want them on display at the background in case you're spotting different bits and pieces, so we will stagger those, and we will introduce the next one. So, the book, nice tile on here. Now, with regards to stickers, actually, I haven't mentioned this, the D&D set only comes with a handful of stickers and some nice tiles as well, so it's a good mix of both. With regards to the Lord of the Rings, I can't remember because it was built quite a while ago. Now get this out the way, you can see what this one looks like with regards to the front of the dress, and then you have got the really nice necklace on the front, and then you've got the big hair piece with the ears and the braids and everything all as one bit. Plonk that off, you can see you have then got a completely different look with regards to the face on the back, or you've got the happier face on the front, and that one obviously does look a lot nicer on there. Now with regards to this style of minifigure, you have got one in the D&D set as well, and you can see just how different the actual hair molds are. The ears very similar, very similar with regards to the angle of the ears. I think on the D&D they go up a little bit more, but they are close to being the same size for the ears. And then again you've got the nice hair piece on the front. With regards to the prints and everything, it is nice that they have managed to get some really nice printing across the front of both of these, and then they have added in a little bit on the back of this one, but they've not added in any on there. And obviously if it wasn't a slippy table, you could easily prop those up. But that one is what this one looks like, and obviously it comes with the book. And the one in the blue dress, you do have again alternate head, which is this head piece just up here, and there is a spare bit of hair somewhere as well, so again you can mix and match all the different bits and pieces that you want to do. And of course you can just pick and choose what it is that they want to hold. So if you want them to have that as their element and their power, then obviously you can do. Because like I said, there are so many pieces with this set with regards to stuff that you might not use in a game. That is the only downfall, I would say. I can't really say anything else about it. Obviously the price is the price, but that's it's up to your own discretion if you're willing to get it for that. But I would say the only thing that is missing is just almost use it as a storage container within the set, where you have like a treasure cove and you can just get the different hair pieces and bits and pieces out, because it would have just been handy. But then at the same time you can just treat yourself to a small storage box, and then you are good to go. Right, talking of different bits and pieces with regards to storage, his weapon, you've already seen it in the forge. So that is a nice thing about the Lord of the Rings set. It actually has places that you can put all of the armour and the swords and things like that when you're not using them. But this does have the nice detail of the shield, so you can see what that one looks like just up on there. He says as he's fighting to get into his hand, so that is what that looks like. It does look very good, very smart. And then you've got all the nice shine on the bottom of his legs, so you can see you've got the red going up the groin, you've got the brown on the one thigh going up into the belt, and then on the other side you've then just got the normal printing. It does look very effective. Then you've got sort of almost like the chain armour that goes all the way up, and then you've got the red bit, and then you've got the bit underneath the neck. Now with regards to the dual face, this one does have a grumpy beard or a smug happy beard. So let's keep the smug happy beard on, plonk him on, get that back over there, and then the army of the Lord of the Rings, he's fallen over, is growing. Next one, we will add in this one. So spot the difference between the two. Now one of them has a hat, and I've got a funny feeling it might be this one. I think that is also the alternate look for that character. So you have a choice of two. So you have a spare hat or a long hair piece. I'm sure that is the case with regards to that one. If not, you can just add it to that one. They're both the same colour, because the trouser colour is the same as that hat and the hat is the same as that. So mix and match, do what it is you want to do, but we'll say it's with the one with the white beard. Long stick of doom, hair piece, beard, dual face. Let's have a look at the dual face first. So again, not as old as the other ones. Spins round, and you can see there's no secondary print on there. Now with regards to the actual print on the front, you can see that you've got all the creases going across the bottom, and then you've got the bits on the pouch, you've got the bit with the belt, and then you've got the over shoulder strap, and then you've got the nice bit that goes into the centre. No printing on the arms, I don't think many of them do, but you do have all the printing that wraps around the back on this one. You can see that you have then got the hood. So again, I haven't added in the capes. All the capes are safe and sound on the Rivendell set. I can see them from here, but that is what that looks like from the back with his hair, and then spin that round, plonk that in with regards to the stick, and then you are good to go. Right, we are running out of minifigures, he says. There's actually still quite a few to go. So this thing just here comes with a huge amount of weaponry. He has amazing axe, a big sword, and the other bits and pieces like that. But again, you've got some really nice detail on the chain link on the front. So you've got all of that nice detail. You can see all the silver, the gold, and the brown. And then on this one, you have got the really sort of gunmetal grey on the arms. And then across the back you've got all the other detail, and then you have got the small legs, but these legs do bend. So that is a big difference, because you have got the newer bendy legs because it's technically an adult, but these are fixed legs because they're kids. Not too sure why that is the case. I would have liked if all of them could have bent, because it would have been quite nice to pose, but these are the newer style legs that they've added in more recently, so it means you can get the smaller kids sat on the roller coaster rides and things like that, so that makes it a little bit more handy. Again, all the detail with the bright ginger beard, it does look very, very good. And then you've got this amazing looking headpiece. You've got all the gold that's wrapped round across the forehead. You've got the bit that goes over the top, and then you've got the bits on the side, and it just carries on wrapping round. And yes, it has changed colour, so you have then got some more of a copper effect going across the bottom, and then you've got the rest of the gold going across the top. So overall, that is a very, very, very strong looking minifigure. Now, one to match this happy chappy just here. So these are the two sort of battle-y ones. Again, very, very similar heights, but the newer set, it's got the fixed legs, which is a real shame. I wish it had the bendy legs. So to try and actually stand this up on the stairs, it's going to be a right nightmare. So I've only just spotted that myself. So you've got the nice shields, so you can see you've got the two-tone, the orange and the yellow, and then you've seen this dragon just here, which I do believe it's very, very similar. In fact, it's this, isn't it? So that's who that is. That's on there. So that's what that is, but get that out of the way so you can then see the nice detail. So you've got the over-the-shoulder armour up on the side. You've got the very, very strong tan print. On the side, you can see you've got the ear with the bright blonde hair. Different tone on the arm, gloves. No print on the back of the legs, which are just black. There we go, a lot of bees. And then you have got all of the really nice silver, and then you've got the chain link going across the top of the lats and behind the shoulders. So you've got all the different bits and pieces just up in there. So as it stands, no, there is nothing that goes on that bit, but yes, if you want to, you can add whatever you want. But you've got the super smug smile, or you got that one. So which one should we have? Let's go for that one for now. So you've got the super smug smile, and then again you've got the shield with the one hand, which just clips in nice and simple, and then you have got the sword in the other hand like so, and then we are starting to make some sort of progress. I think we've only got 2, maybe 3 more characters of each, I think, so not too much longer to go. Moving on to another one that has a lot of detail, so loads and loads of chain link on this one. This one does look very, very effective. Really hope this is coming through on the camera okay, because I think this one does look very, very good indeed. You've got the long blonde hair again, dual face, so spin that round. You've got the I'm determined face, and then you've got the more not so bothered face, but on the back the print carries on. You've got this really, really nice shine going all the way across the back, and then you've got the slightly brighter green going across against the lighter arms. Hair is very, very long like they all are, and they do have the long plaits as well. Talking of long hair, same sort of hairpiece between these two on here, and then in fact they're exactly the same hairpiece, exactly the same ears, exactly the same on the front, but obviously it's just a completely different character. Does come with the bow and arrow, so we'll get her over to that side. Head pops off Legolas, and then you have got all the different bits and pieces. So you've got the nice bright silver over the green, you've got the brown belt buckle, you've got the belt that goes across the middle, then you've got the sort of almost like the 3-tone on the trousers as well, because you've got the blue with the black boot, and then you've got the cut-in onto the legs. On the back, very, very similar with regards to the 3 colours, but you can see just how they've done the print on the back of the leg into the blue, and then you've got the green across the backside, and then you've got the twisty belt across the back with the lighter green across the top. So again, different face on the back, different face on the front. Have him smiling, get his arm clipping in. He says, hold it. There we go. And that is another one down. Now, this cool thing here, this is a really cool looking character. In fact, there's actually 3 skeletons that are included within this set, but I will show you the other 2 together and very, very quickly. But this is a beast of a thing. Look at the size of that sword that this skeleton is supposed to hold. This thing is enormous. It is a cool mold as well. It's a really nice looking thing. And again, this is just a normal skeleton that you put together, and then he just has his body armor on. So you take him off, just a skeleton that is included within the set, but you've got this really nice silver. You've got that at the back. Plonk his noggin on. That's what he looks like that. Give him a little bit of armour on his head, give him a huge sword, and he is well away. Now the other two skeletons are just bog standard skeletons, but one of them does have a different tool to hold, which I will grab right now. You have that one just there, and then you have his mate just here holding this green thing of doom. Now they are all pictured in the instruction booklet, and obviously they're doing their own weird and wonderful things, and they do look very, very smart as a 3. And obviously there's more of these in the set, so if you've got any more of these, then you can do some different bits and pieces with them. Now, if we get those carefully out the way, he says as he throws it, look at this one. Beautiful red, really nice silver going across the middle, and you've got all this gorgeous printing across the bottom. This is very, very smart. Some of these minifigures are very, very good. Plain on the back though, but you have got, again, really nice print going across the forehead. So it's a complete mix-up on this one, because some of them have print all over the place. This one seems to have really, really nice printing on the front, but not so much going on across the back. But again, you can pick and choose more of an evil look and more of a calm look. And again, with the hairpiece, they're all the really long hair bits with the ears, and then you've got all the plaits and everything across the back. Now, obviously we are missing one character, but hopefully by now you'll realise who we are missing. But this is technically the last one I've got to hand for the Lord of the Rings stuff. Again, you've got all the chain link on the suit. You've got the green. This is very, very similar to the one that we've already seen, which is this one just here. And then you've got the same printing going across the back with the bright green on there. So again, this does look really nice, but hopefully you can see the scuff marks are actually coming through on the armour. Again, face on one side, face on the other, long hair, clip them on, job's a good one. But we're not finished just yet. Nope. Another minifigure. So this is the one that has, I think, just bizarrely one face print. Now, I don't know why. I don't understand why. But it does, and it's fine. But it would have been easier if they just gave you 2 face prints and 1 head, because I am sure this one as well only has the 1 face print. But you can see they are different. But again, it is what it is. It might be something different that Lego are doing. If that is the case, well, it is the case. It is what it is. So we'll keep that off for now. You can see, though, the printing on this, beautiful. So lots and lots of nice print. You've got all the black going into the silver to the darker blue, then the silver, the lighter blue, and then you've got all of that amazing detail going on within the torso as well. So you've got the gold, the brown. Moving up, you've got the lighter blue with the buttons going across, and you've got the chest piece, and you've got the bit that connects with the cape with the gold. Dark blue on the side, and then there's even more detail going across the back. So again, you can mix and match and tell a completely different story to what you think is going on with regards to all of these characters and minifigures with all this detail on the back. And then you just put the hood on, and then it is good to go. But talking of good to go, I think that is it, and I am done. There's a couple more accessories on the table as I pan around so you can see all the different bits and pieces. This was much harder than I thought it was going to be to actually get this thing filmed, just because these sets are absolutely massive. But if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. In the comment section below, let us know what your favourite set is out of the 2. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan or a D&D fan? And if you are, and you like both, but you can only buy one, which one would you go for? Now, the minifigure selection, obviously fantastic, and obviously the monster selection as well does look very, very good. And when you've got them on the table like this, just panning across, you get a very, very good mix of both. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what they do in the future with regards to bringing out more sets, and that's just a final look at the size of that dragon. But as I stand up and pan up for the final time, so you can just see the scale of the size of these 2 sets. Guys, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and we'll get to the next one. Ta-da.